Okay, part two. Welcome back. So we refueled, we pushed back. I did do a couple just quick checks without having to waste a lot of your time. I came back in, did a double check and reset these panels correctly, etc., etc. The engines are now in normal config mode. I'm gonna double check a couple things, just reset a few things here, and let's get her down the runway and take off. Fairly straightforward stuff.
Please prepare for takeoff.
I have no idea what that background message was. Anyway, engines are going. We're starting to feel the net effect of it all. Now that they're running, I'm going to throw them into normal here. You can see we got some engine rotation, the pressures should come back down. Yeah, everything's looking good. Okay, so motors are running and we are set to go. So we're going to go ahead and roll down the... I got to get back in the seat here, sorry. Typically at this point you've also called for taxi.
Savanah ground KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 with Delta ready to taxi IFR.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 taxi 2 and hold short of runway.
Taxi hold short runway 10 via CBA. Contact tower 119.1 KEV 777. So
taxiing hold short runway 10 via taxiway Charlie Bravo Alpha KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
So normally at this point you also have your maps available in most situations here. So you can go to those and take a look at them through here, or you have them open on another screen, etc., etc., etc. So I'm setting these because we're going to taxi, and then we're going to set for runway. So at this point we're going to do this, and we're going to go follow the taxi. And of course this airport doesn't have it labeled, so you're looking at a map typically to do so. 10 is down at the end to our right, so I'm going to go this way. And the brakes on this thing or something else. Normally you're seeing markers here. Whoa! Stop! Come on back. Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna play games here. So there's Charlie and this is Bravo. Alpha is down at the end. And we'll line up on 10 and take off. So I spent an hour explaining some of this. I didn't go to a true cold and dark, but I did show you how to transition. One of the things to remember on the transition side of it, so when I get down here I'll explain it in more detail, but fundamentally I was freaking out because I'm like, okay, I should have, you know, no issues here at all. I shouldn't have any problems with turning on the engines, right? So I'm like, well, wait a minute, man, what's my problem? And the problem came from not understanding how fly-by-wire had actually set the switches to execute. So when you turn your engine switches on, make sure that the motor first is in the selector switch, is in the start position, not crank or anything else, but make sure it is in the start position for a good second. Just put it at 1 second, then click 2, let it roll up, then click 1 and let it roll up. So what I mean by that is click this here to start first, then trigger your activation for on. You'll see the number all of a sudden kick in. I was flipping the switch, turning the button backwards. So in other models I've seen it work that way. So what's correct is to turn it to start and then flip the switch. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it's sequenced or not. You know, I don't do this every day, so I don't have the flight. I have a flight manual, I just don't have it open, so I didn't bother to refer to it first. But anyway. So when you guys normally see me at this point, I'm through this phase of it. So when you get here, you're now going to say request clearance to take off. But before I do that, I want to do a couple things here. First of all, you want to make sure that you're armed. Your brakes are set to max. The temperatures on it are cool. You've done a clear. Select all for that. It'll automatically reset for me. I'm in norm here. My flaps are in the 1. I typically take off of flaps 1, but that can be varied on wind conditions, temperature, etc. Brakes are set at the minimum, but just making sure the door is locked. My rudder is set to 0, so this is important to make sure that you get that squared away before you're screwing around in the air. So the other thing is, at this point you're making sure that you have this on. Your PWS is on. If you're going to use the radar, etc., make sure these are all set and configured. Make sure that you switch from standby to TARA.
Please prepare for takeoff.
And your squawk is normal. These are switches that come set. You're going to want. Can I get enough of an angle for you? You want it on auto. ATC on this side of the fence, so instead of the middle you want it to the left. Yeah, make sure that your squawk is correct and you're in standby. You go from standby to TARA. Okay, so once you start moving the aircraft, you want to make sure that that gets flipped. So from here, your TCAS, your packs. So when you're bleeding and running your engines, some pilots in certain areas or restrictions around the world will have reasons to leave the APU on. and leave their packs off so they don't suck any juice out of the system that the motors might need for climbing. So in most cases, you're going to, in situations, you're going to go ahead and just flip them on. Most flights you'll see me with these already off, so at this point I can make sure that I'm okay here. I know I'm set. Then I go to set my takeoff configuration, so my beacon and strobes are on. I'm turning on the landing light and the runway light before I get on the runway, and I flip it to TO. These should be in the upright position. If I have concerns over weather and season, I could have these on for de-icing. If it's cold and it's rainy or snowy, etc., these could be preset right away when I'm at the gate to keep the wing from frosting over while you're sitting there prepping the aircraft. So at this point, you have your panel is clean, your ADIRs are on, everything's set for yourself. You're okay at this point. You're in control of the aircraft. There are other options here for your flight officer, your first officer to sit and to monkey with or manage on the right side while you have your stuff on the left side. They're not identical on both sides for configuration purposes. So you give the cabin an all clear sign that you're going to try and approach the runway. People should be buckled up, devices turned off, flight crew sitting in their what do they call it, jump seats? Jump seats. I think it's called jump seats. Anyway, you're coming here and running through all of this stuff before you get to the runway. You'll see me constantly flick the TO config after making adjustments just to make sure that everything we have here is set. This isn't set, so I need to set this. So there's a couple things here. I can come back in and just double check before I request taxiway, and I should have set this up before I left on taxi. But we're going to 150, so I got to preset this to 150. So these are all set. I won't typically need ILFs to get out of here. Sometimes in certain weather conditions you would, but it's not necessary in this case because we can see the runway, so we're clear. Now we can come in and ask ATC, sorry, this bad boy right here. Contact tower 119. Request takeoff clearance.
Savannah
Tower KEV 777 requesting IFR departure runway 10.
Ready for IFR departure runway 10.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo
3002, wind calm, cleared for takeoff.
02 wind calm. Cleared for takeoff runway 10.
Okay. Cleared for takeoff. Runway 10, KEV 777.
Cleared for takeoff runway 10, KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
So at this point, you go ahead and turn off your brakes. Run your motor up to speed a little bit. Give yourself some juice to get on the runway. Okay, come on, man. Really? Jeez. Okay, and here's where You can quick run your final check if you need to. You're typically lined up okay. Now see, I gotta go further to the right yet, but we're all set. I'm okay to go. Everything's set. I don't have any weird issues or concerns here. TO config set. We're flaps 1, right? One. Thank you. All right, baby. Hopefully she'll pick this up on our way out. Chrono, brake, toga. So you'll see a series here. I'm gonna do an island hop series. Gotta watch for our 160, 162. Come on, we're at 1. Gotta hit 1. Yeah, we're at 1. We're okay. So we got rotate. We hit V2. Hold there. Come on, give me a positive. It's kind of weird, a little bit delayed. Gear up. Flap. Goodbye, Savanah. Alright. So, I was supposed to go off 2.8, but it gave me 10, so I went off 10 just so I didn't have any disconnect. I can show you how to get there.
Contact Jacksonville Center on 120.85. Good day.
Contact 120.875 KEV 777.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 is at 1,300 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
So I know I have to travel south, so that's a 180 heading. I'm traveling slightly east at the moment at 1215, 30-degree angle there. So I'm gonna head to 168 and head a little offshore for a second, and then we're gonna turn and burn back to our original course. So I gotta get there first.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777, please acknowledge.
I don't know why she's not responding to everything, so I have to do this. So bear with me while I do this. I need to set my bearings because I'm doing this manual myself. And if I don't respond too soon, ATC is going to disconnect me. And we can do this. There we go. Okay.
Climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Expect 15,000 feet. KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
Okay, so we're off the ground. We can do these. Turn these off. Thank you so much. Don't need you right now. I'm going to leave these guys on because I just don't know where we're sitting. We can have them actually use their devices. Smoking is just a guarantee nowadays. It's typically this is not for just smoking, it's for devices. I can unlock the door. There you go, Freckles. We gotta go to the bathroom, and then we're gonna wanna disarm that. Make sure this is in its 0 position. It is. Make sure PWS is still set. Ground is set to 1 or 2, depending upon which unit you want to use, which radar you want to control with your angle, etc. Yeah. Okay. Now that we're out with this, I can set this back to CL. She'll optimize our climb from here on out at 320 because that's what I've told it to hold. So we are good to go. 3002 is the payback. So with this being said, I gotta come all the way back and I'm gonna go direct to Savanah, direct to Savanah. So I want to do this and I want to click direct. That way I won't have to go all the way back to the airport. But because I didn't program a 1-0 exit, I was on a 2-8. So I thought I was going to have to come down and go the other way, but Tower gave me a 10. So you have to be flexible in an aircraft and be able to accommodate things like that. So for me, I don't need to go back to my original flight since the pattern changed, which can happen during weather. You just have to make adjustments here. Find your waypoints. You can use the OnStar guides here to say, okay, what are my next waypoints? I've got a long way to go, so my waypoints, I didn't have that many in here, so we've got 80 miles before we hit our next waypoint, 90 miles. But we're on our way. We're going to climb and maintain 15,000 feet. All the bells and whistles are going. I don't know why she's not answering the call, but we're going to find out at some point. Now, you can roll through your all button here and see all of these things. Yada yada yada. So this isn't the same as this, but this gives you some different details on fuel, etc. But it does give you similar numbers here. So
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 climb and maintain 15,000 feet.
climb and maintain 15,000 feet, KEV 777.
Climb and maintain 15,000 feet, KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777.
Now, there is, what I'm debating on doing is a series. It depends on what's happening on the last weekend of summer, but there is a series of island hops that are typically maintained as kind of a challenge, a fun challenge. Others have done it, but in the South Pacific, you can run through the Cook Islands, Solomon Islands, etc., 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 Fiji, blah, 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 Solomon, blah, blah, blah. You can run through those islands and basically puddle hop, island hop your way. And I'm debating whether or not to do just a cargo drop without passengers. or to do a simulated passenger run. More than likely I'm just going to do a FedEx. You know me, I love FedEx, guys, you know that. So I'll probably just do a quick FedEx run, so I don't have to sit on the ground for more than 30 minutes, but load and unload cargo, not worrying about passengers and such, but just picking up some fuel, dropping off cargo, and jumping islands. There's a default run generated out there that is interesting to say the least, so we'll see how it goes. But life in the fast lane, as I say, I shouldn't have any issues building that up and making that happen. Right, so we're on path. Standard messages, you guys see this stuff all the time with me, so now that we're at cruising, right, we've reached our cruising altitude just about. I feel comfortable enough putting this back into a stub mode. Sorry, the middle one. There we go. And we can turn that off. The rest of these are all off, so we don't need to worry about that. I'm not sensing any issues. Temperature-wise, so. Hydraulics all look good. APU is off. Sitting at a comfortable 22.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. You are 70 miles north. Maintain present.
How'd you leave that open? What's going on?
Yankee runway 14 approach.
Ah, dang it, Microsoft. Ignore the button there.
777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 descent and maintain 4,000 feet.
What?
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 descent and maintain 2,000 feet.
How much? ILSY 14 approach. Send and maintain. Okay, KEV 777 expect ILSY runway 14 approach KEV 777. Okay, so now I really gotta figure this out.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 contact Jacksonville Center on 126.75.
I'm way too far out for this. Why are you having me do this?
126.75 KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Goodbye. Jacksonville Center KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 is at 15,000 feet, descending 2,000 feet.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 Jacksonville Center altimeter 30.04 radar contact. Continue.
I really don't understand why I'm doing this early. Why am I on runway 14? Approach Y. Okay. They're changing me to 14. So I have to come in here and reset this. So this is where you make your adjustments. So, no, not tower. So they've asked me to switch here, which is fine. This is all part of how you normally would fly anyway, but we're gonna go runway 14 instead of 8. So I gotta come in here. And I'm gonna do 14Y. So again, it said ILS-Y 14 runway. 14Y is this one, so we want to select it. I'm still going to select no start because I don't have the maps open. So now I have to change my connect from SOVI to ORTAR in order to accommodate my approach. So, no problem. You guys have seen me do this a bunch of times, so we're going to click on this and we're going to type ORTAR. O-R-T-A-R. Click it as my waypoint, and it should connect me. And then insert it.
777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Please expedite your descent 2,000 feet.
We're working on it, mate. Hang on, baby. So we've now reset our configuration to go ahead and coordinate for 14. So we're coming in on runway 14. We gotta expedite this. So I optimized it, but I'm gonna do this. Excuse me. My allergies are still bugging me, guys. Okay. So I'm kind of mumbly today. We're gonna go ahead and drop the bucket. Oh, got my eyes watering. Anyway, like I said, we're gonna come in and I'll double check the plan here, make sure I'm okay. I should be okay. Turn you off. So we're gonna come in here. We're gonna do this. This and Dodger right on. No problem. We're okay to go here. That's a nice clean insert into ILS approach. So we're still 35 miles, 35, 40. Oh, 48. We got plenty of time. Why did you have me do it so soon? It was really early, super early to switch runways on me on assignment, but it is what it is. So again, this is supposed to match. And I just want to make sure we're dropping super fast here. We're going to climb way up. I was in the process of decelerating, but we're kind of mixing both worlds here to get her down. It's way too early to be this low, so I'm going to slow this down in a second when I hit 5,000. I have my terrain on, so we're okay here. I don't want to hit the red, so at this point I'm going to start trimming it back. About 1,800, 1,700, depending on how much fuel are. That's the optimized, so it should reduce the amount of speed increase you're getting, but not decrease too fast on the descent side of things. So
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777. Contact Jacksonville approach on 119er decimal 0. Good day.
contact Jacksonville approach on 119.
Going to 119er decimal 0 KEV.
See, I don't understand why she's
777
picking
Kilo
some
Echo
of it up
Victor
and not all of it.
777.
Freckles, what's up with you over there?
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 is passing 4,100
I
feet.
love how your
descending
mouth doesn't
2,000
move
feet.
though.
KEV 777 Kilo Echo Victor 777 Jacksonville, approach altimeter 30.11 radar contact continue.
3011? Okay. You say so. So this series of 2 shows is for Chris. Chris, I got a cold and dark I'll do just for you as well, just on startup. Full startup according to the Delta book. I have the Delta startup guide, so, or the Delta guidebook, period, so, for the 330. Got a copy one, man. It's interesting to read the physics and calculations that they describe. Like going back to school. Alright, so we're now going to hit the 215 mark. We're going to be below, so we can flip. We're going to stabilize here at 2,000 feet. So we are like way down on the ground and floating above it. On our way to Jacksonville here. We are low. Very low. So, because of that, I'm going to go ahead. I won't have to do any more descent per se until final last 5 miles per se. ILS will pick up. So, I'm at a speed where I can go ahead and switch to flaps 1 because I'm below the green dot here. But I'm in the 210 to 220 range. That means this will drop our flaps, provide a stable platform for me to further decelerate. So you want to hit about 220 deceleration. Make sure you're about 15-20 miles out when you start your your final deceleration is set, and your altitude's typically going to be in 5,000 to 7,000 foot range at 20 miles out. Typically, depending upon altitude of where you're landing, etc., etc. But in this case, they had me go early, so I'm going to do a couple quick sets here. I'm going to set my ILS for both the pilot and co-pilot. I'm not going to set my minimum yet because I won't worry about that until I get to this point, another 5-10 miles. But I am going to finish off my deceleration. So at this point, I'm going to drop it. Typically, I'll drop it down to 170, 165. Most of the time I'm setting at 165. The reason I set it for 165 is because that's my minimums. That's my minimum V1 speeds, right? So I'm tying it to my V1. My V1, V2 is in this range of 165 to 170 typically based on fuel, weight, etc., etc. So you don't want to just natively be dropping out of the sky, but you want to sit stable so the wings are creating some form of normal lift. That's neutral, at least neutral in fashion. So, because we're slowing down, we can go ahead and do flaps 2. Our speed's now going to drop below 180. So you see the F here means we can go to stage 3 and 4 for full flaps. We are now at full flaps. We'll arm the speed brakes. PWS is checked. We'll make sure the door is locked. We'll come back here, set our brakes to medium, wait for the green check, check, check. We'll do a cabin check, and we'll log the gear. Everything else here is set. There is nothing else unusual here for you to follow. You come up top to the top side here before you hit here. We double check our altimeters, but then we go ahead and set this. Normally you're setting the runway and the landing gear and you're leaving this off. I cheat, guys. I throw the taxi light on early. You're going to want a minimum of the tail light. You don't have to have this on. It's the same with the wing light. Most people don't turn the wing light on. Then you're going to want to go ahead and activate your final do not touch your devices, do not smoke, do not do anything. Double check your packs. In some cases you might want to start up your APU. I'll go ahead and do that just for giggles because I can. In some cases you're going to want to maintain certain things. When you do switch APU on and off, you typically want to turn pack 1 on and off at the same time to eliminate any weird pressure or electrical surcharge to go through here, because it's equalizing pressures when you start your bleed. So it's all part of a normalized process. Like if you're landing in is it Zurich? Which one is it in the mountains? You're going to want to control your bleeds and your pack at the same time when you're turning the APUs on while you're in flight. I'll turn it on now for giggles so you guys kind of get an understanding of what it is. It's your auxiliary power. You want as much power to your engines to maintain control of your aircraft in case you have to evacuate or accelerate away from trouble. You don't want any blips or glitches with power. So always have your hands on the throttle when you're not doing other things in the cab when you're coming into final. So I'm going to push a button here called all. This is going to notify the flight crew that we're preparing for landing. So you push that. That registers here on your panel. The only thing left we have to do here, according to the checklist, typically is to set our altimeter, our minimums, and then drop the gear. Those are typical last steps for this kind of process at this point. So you can see there's your barometer check, making sure the seat belts are on, set your minimums, your auto brake, and your engine mode select. Boom, 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 boom. Now you're going to get that typically as you turn for landing or approach. So right now you should be getting a clearance request to approach. I set my plan, my arc to 10, so I know when I'm 10 miles out. This gives me a satisfactory pattern of repetition for approach and landing from my brain. So the last call I got from ATC was that pressure was okay. I didn't realize she hadn't. Oh God. Can't do it yourself, then don't do it, right? Alright, we're going in, we got clearance. I'll call it. KEV 777 requesting clearance 14L. Altimeter 3011, KEV 77. Cleared for approach, cleared for landing. Alright, so from here we can go ahead and set our minimums, and then I'll turn on the APPR for ILS. This sets the localizer signal up. You get a Cat 3. Yeah, we got a Cat 3 coming in here. So you can see the purple diamond's going to pick up when it hits the line here. It should automatically set our VS to match what was pre-programmed. So you can see here now it's clicked, it's connected, localizer is green. You can see my VS is my vertical descent rate is set by the ILS call, the radio signals. So now we're floating in, we're a few miles out. 5 miles. Coming in at ILS 14. And you guys know the rest. Take it in. I turn these off. You don't have to, man. As soon as I touch the throttle, this will automatically go off. So I could leave this on all the way in if I wanted. Same with this. I could use ILS all the way in and let it land itself. I like to add a little touch to it and control it, so I turn these things off when I get close. I'm inside 5 miles, so you've seen me before. When I hit 1,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the auto throttle.
1,000.
And when I hit 400, we're going to turn off autopilot, so I have full control. My hand would be then on the stick the whole time from here on in. And to clear this off your panel, you just hit the clear button. Most people don't realize that. We got a good signal. We're floating a little above our normal speed at 165, but that's fine. The main concern is whether or not you have the right ILS approach angle. So you want this in the middle of the diamonds.
400.
So far, so good. So we'll click AP off. I gotta add a little rudder here, bring it back in line, because the wind is pushing me to the left. Then I can click the alarm.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, retard, 10, 5.
Auto brake on.
Go ahead and disconnect off the runway at the taxiway. Typically at this point you're calling in for gate instructions, parking instructions, etc. So from here you can start some of your basic cleanup. Flaps don't have to be out, and you can disarm this, you can set these. We're all good to go here, man. I can unlock this. Fellow passengers, thank you so much for being here. You guys are the best. And then you can start your bleed. Depends on where you're at, what the conditions are. But you're still trying to maintain minimum drain on the engine, etc. You don't need your LS on. So here's where you do cleanup while you're waiting for instructions. Jacksonville ground. Looks like we're going to want to go over to the left, so let's go ahead and go on over. Right. We'll just take the first one and find over here. I'm not going to sit and spin around for an hour. We'll take this bad boy right here. Come on, man. Don't mess with Kev. Come on now. Not too fast. Alright, go ahead and park it here. Basically then you can shut down your engines. You're good to go because you're still on APU power. Your cabin can evacuate, passengers can get out of the bus, and you can wind down the rest of your activities. Flight directors can be shut down. All of your beacons, bells, and strobes, etc., these can all go off. And you can say, get out of your chair, man. Go run for the door. And basically at this point you can run through and start wind down procedures. Typically you're going to wait until the passengers are off or your freight's unloaded. So there you have it. Welcome to Jacksonville. Welcome to the second part of the Fire It Up and Send It. Thanks for being here. This is going to be about a 2-hour deal. The two videos will be separate. So you'll see the Savanah, Jacksonville to Savanah, and then the turnaround and fly, refill, etc. And the second half is once taxi kicks into gear from Savanah back to Jacksonville. So you did a round trip. There you go, man. Congrats. You made it. Thanks.